Hi, Sunana.
Hello. So welcome. How are you?
I'm fantastic. It's raining, cats and
Is it?
dogs over here. I had to drive like 45 minutes. I mean, I live a little far away.
Oh,
Yeah. Uh,
yeah. I mean, it's raining every day in San Francisco.
no,
That's
that's a misconception. You're talking about London.
I remember in the time that I was there, it rained quite a lot. It felt like it was raining all the time. And you'll be surprised. I was in London in what was it? September, October. Surprisingly, we had one day of rain. I was so surprised. It was sunny days.
Yeah,
So,
it's like
yeah.
that's because your name is Sunny.
Well, again, thank you for being on this podcast. Welcome to, we call it the Ops Table. I'm Sunny Agha. I've spent 20 years leading culinary teams, operations for companies like Sodexo, Compass Group, Guggenheimer. But about a year ago, I shifted that experience into building AI operational tools. Just being in the industry and kind of seeing how hard we work, I really wanted to give operators time back, reduce that paperwork, tighten the systems, and hold their teams together. So the conversation started and it grew into a podcast, and that just took its own life. It's a space where real operators, real stories, and real solutions. And I'm thoroughly enjoying talking to people like yourself, just such wonderful stories. And so today I'm joined by someone whose career deserves this table, Chef Ranjan Dev, who founder of New Delhi Restaurant, an anchor of San Francisco since 1988. Welcome, Chef. How are you today?
Thank you, Sunaina, for including me in this journey. I'm absolutely amazing today. Every day we get a chance to be amazing or not.
That's
It's your choice. So I choose to be amazing, you know,
it.
and especially in our industry, it's all about handling chaos, which is coming towards you. And once you look towards it, embrace it, and you do your best, that's the best you can do. And then you're okay and ready for the next day.
I absolutely love your attitude. And you said it. I used to call it when I used to do it organized chaos.
Yeah.
But there's a certain joy to that organized chaos.
We love that. Being Indians, India is the epicenter of organized chaos. And so, like, whatever it is, who cares? You just enjoy the ride.
That's that's right. I didn't even think of it that way. Yes, we are from the epicenter of chaos. It's engraved into our fabric. 100%.
One of the most delicious thing in India is called Jugaad.
Jugaad, yes.
The jugaad is you make do, you make it work. Whatever you have around you or you do not have around you, but you make it work because it needs to be done. So, once we put that into our life, essence,
Yeah.
everything.
I know the word really well. I never used it with our, line of work, but it makes complete sense. I've learned something new. So thank you for that. Thank you. Um, I'm going to start off. I want to talk a little bit about your origin, your legacy, and what a legacy it is. You've opened more than 40 restaurants in across 12 countries. Incredible. Bef before really making New Delhi in San Francisco as your home. So today, after this journey, what does your work look like today?
It's essentially the same. Hospitality industry is bringing everybody to the table. You are a gastro diplomat. You make it happen where people come together around the table with their guards down and open for communication. And that's the same because we are only one race, which is human race. We think the same, we eat the same, we bleed the same, we love the same, and we aspire to be the same. So, you know, I love our industry because when you're going to a lawyer, you have a problem. When you're going to a dentist, you have a problem. When you're going to a doctor, you have a problem. When you come to a restaurant, you are there to rejoice and celebrate. So you're open to so much amazing, delicious possibility. And I love it. If I'm a therapist, I carry heavy stuff on my shoulder every day, 24/7. When I am in my restaurant, like most of the time, people are there to rejoice, unless you have kind of like picked my restaurant because it's beautiful and you want to break up with somebody. It's all about, enjoyment. And I'm glad that I chose this line of work where I can every day enjoy building the community, being there, enjoying being a part of it, and like really celebrate the essence of life.
Truly is a celebration of the essence of life. It truly is. And you summed it up, People come when they're happy, people come for a birthday, people come for an anniversary, people come for a breakup, it's people sign their divorce papers in restaurants. It's all a part of it. It's truly a celebration of life.
Yeah. But also you meet at the restaurant on a blind date.
You
You
do.
come back to the restaurant to propose. You come back there to celebrate your first anniversary, and then you bring your kids over. And you know what? Sometimes the kids come over. So it's a like amazing, you know, texture, mouthfeel, and taste of real life.
So eloquently and beautifully said. And I'm sure you have witnessed so many generations come in and out of your restaurant.
Absolutely. We have favorite tables. We have like in our table, in our restaurant, this restaurant, we have opened in 1988. We have served over 2 million guests. Um, and we have certain tables where we know the couples who actually came on blind date, actually proposed, didn't get married at our restaurant, married somewhere else, but came back after all the celebration is done to celebrate where it all started. And they brought their kids, and their kids brought their kids. We have special table for like I know of at least 5 couples like that. And so as soon as they come, we know the table where it all started. So we try to always seat them on those tables.
How lovely. How lovely. So clearly, this is your passion. Clearly, this is your life. Tell me about a moment you knew this was your lifelong purpose.
Oh boy. I think when I was 14, that's when I started my first like experience in a hotel kitchen in Calcutta, Park Hotel, because my dad didn't give me a choice. He saw me smoking, so he said, "Go get a job, smoke with your money. You're not going to waste my money." And I did approach one of my uncle who was a sous chef there, and he said, "Beta, come after school on weekends. I have a small job for you." And the small job was cleaning the whole kitchen floor, peeling bags and bags of onions and potatoes, grinding the spices, washing the pots and pans. But that's when I kind of loved that, like unbridled chaos in the kitchen where you have to make everything work. And also the discipline, underlying discipline, which is there, but you have to practice. It's like a singer, like we call it rewaz. That means you have to practice.
Mhm.
Once you practice, 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 you can then sing an amazing song and capture everybody's attention. And same goes for the kitchen. You have to practice, practice, practice. Nothing comes like, oh, you're born with a passion or this or that. No. Practice is what actually is the seed of creation of a passion.
Wonderful advice for young aspiring chefs. What wonderful advice. And coming from someone like you who has served, is it 2 million guests in a city? 2 million?
Counting because that was 35th anniversary when we counted that. We just celebrated our 38th anniversary. So there's been a few more thousands added to that.
Well, congratulations, and what a feather in your cap. What an achievement. So you've served these 2 million guests in a city where restaurants turn over fast. What has kept you relevant for almost 4 decades?
I think it is my, you know, like Indian born pivot dancing ability to the Bollywood music of life. Change is inevitable, growth is optional. So you have to change with everything being thrown at you.
Mhm.
Simple example, once upon a time, there was this great thing called word of mouth. We relied on that. Word of mouth is what brought hordes of guests to your restaurant. So you work so hard. Word of mouth doesn't exist anymore. It's the reviews. Now you have to work about reviews. Once upon a time, there was like Dine and Dash. You dine and you dash, you don't pay. Now it's review based. People come threaten. They're not going to pay. And if you don't make it happen, they're going to write you a nasty review. Things changes. And the people who write nasty reviews are they're just sad by nature.
Yep.
Most of the people who love enjoying life, enjoying restaurant, enjoying people, enjoying community, don't have time for this nastiness. The intention of most of the restaurateur is to give you the best food, best service. If there is anything wrong, we are the first to want to correct it. But you have to communicate, give us a chance. Don't keep it hidden until you leave the restaurant and then write a review. That's not the right way to do it. I'm coming to your table. I'm asking to make sure you're having an amazing time. Tell me if you're not happy. I will make sure I change that for you. So, changes are inevitable. Growth is optional. So, yeah.
It's, you have said what every chef goes through. It's I wish they would have just come to me and I would have fixed it. I would have
Yes.
done everything in my power to fix it because we strive to have people leave our facilities happy. We are in the business of giving joy.
Yeah.
So, based on that, what is your one quiet rule that keeps you steady through that when it happens? Because it happens quite often.
Mhm. I think it's just making sure you're genuinely enjoying meeting your patrons and making sure they're having an amazing time. In the Hindu philosophy, we have this thing which we say, Atitheya Deva Bhava. Guest is my God. And if you believe in that, and if you are going to all the tables, they know what your intention is. When your intention is pure, universe kind of helps you. You have to do the walk and talk, real one. And that is to go to your customer. Make sure they're having a good time. and if they're not, we just make sure we make the change so they can appreciate your effort and see that you really want them to have a good time and they appreciate it. Making mistakes is very human, you know, and we want to correct it, and correcting it is very human too. We just need the communication channel open. And it's not going to happen if you don't go to your customers and ask them.
Those table touch points are key.
Yeah.
So that's one thing on the reviews, but I'm sure you've seen a lot more change. Guests today behave very differently than they did in 1988.
Absolutely.
What's the biggest shift you've seen? What part of that change has actually surprised you?
Yeah, it's the technology. Technology has taken away, and then AI is coming into. I mean, AI is one of those F words for me. F word can mean many things, like friends, family, food.
Well, now I'm curious.
But the technology takes you away from what before was such a natural human, you know, like interaction. Everything is digital now. Even when four people are sitting at a table, they're looking at the phone, not really looking at each other's eyes and talking.
Mhm.
Even they're sending texts to each other at the table as they're sitting across from each other.
Mhm.
You know, so I feel that takes away a lot of things, you know. And one of the most important thing is that human connection, that human connection. And that's what I miss, Technology, obviously, you can't stop technology. It brings so much more for helping you do different things. I just wish there was a balance. I love a balance, so that we can put our phone away and technology and actually look at each other's, listen to each other's story, help each other, enjoy the food, share the food. All of that will bring a totally different kind of elevated happiness.
It definitely does. I cannot begin to tell you how much I despise phones on a dining table. Even in my home, when my nephews or nieces come to eat, it's like, please put your phone away. That human connection is, and I feel like it's people like you and people like us that, need to hold on to that human connection, because while technology has its evils, it does help with other things as well. So it goes back to, as you said, the balance.
Yeah, we have a
So
small
go
group
ahead.
of chefs. Whenever we go out to eat at different restaurants, we take a bread basket, put all our phones in it,
I love it.
put it away. Whoever picks up the phone first pays the bill.
I love that. I'm going to use that. I love that. On your human connection, you once said restaurants are modern campfires, places where people come to feel seen. How do you keep that sense of connection alive?
It is just making sure you approach first to open the door. You can't just expect it to happen by itself. It's like sitting next to each other in a reception in the hospital and not saying hello to the next guy, you know? So especially in a restaurant, you are the guide. When somebody comes to your restaurant, you are the guide. You know everything. You want to help them navigate to have an amazing time. And therefore, you are the docent. You are the one who is going to lead them into conversation, into enjoying each other's company, introduce different people. And that's how it starts. But you have to be open to it. It can't be forced. It can't be just acted upon just to make some money. And then sometimes it's difficult for certain chefs because just the nature is like they're amazing creative artists, but when it comes to speaking, storytelling may not be in their forte, and they don't want to do it. That's why they've been hiding in the kitchen. But I love the front and back of this beautiful, industry, just like you do, you know. So that makes a big difference.
It is certainly your forte, and I think it speaks to why and how you have also sustained yourself for all this time and still leave a mark on the people that dine there. So
I feel blessed. So thank you.
it's definitely in your forte. You're a small business. You're not the big corporations of America. You've been honest about how tough it has been for independent operators right now. What's the hardest pressure you're feeling this year?
Is the cash flow, so downtown San Francisco is coming back. We have a brand new mayor. He is like amazing or amazing, it's like he is invested in the community. He's bringing in more business. He is showing up. He is making sure the whole cycle is upcoming now. San Francisco is a piece of 24 karat gold from the time of the gold rush days. It's just covered with a little mud right now. And we all have to help wash it away, shine it, and hold it up to the sun so that it can just shine its own brightness. And our new mayor is definitely helping do that. And all the stakeholders, like the small immigrant business holder, the business, owners, are doing that. And those are the people who are the pillars of this society, or every society. It's not the big business. They look at numbers. We look at really putting the stake down and be the root of the community. We're not going anywhere.
You're certainly not, and that's a good thing. And congratulations on your new mayor. I hope that he does bring the change and the support that small businesses like yourself need. You mentioned a little bit about the cash flow within your business. For someone like you, what support would instantly help? Or do you, other businesses, even small businesses, what support would instantly help independents breathe easier?
I think if the city can focus on sustaining certain core business, just like we are a legacy business of the city, and there's a legacy registry so far up, in the whole history of San Francisco, there has been like 300 and like 50 such businesses. You have to be in business for 30 years at least continuously. You have to be really good at what you're claiming to be in business for. And then you have to be deeply involved in the community. And we are one of them. We are the only South Asian business on that registry. We are 329. So altogether, there's like 350 such businesses now. So I'd love for them to put aside grant money for small businesses. These cities are rich cities. They have billions and billions and billions of dollars, which they dole out to so many other things, which never give back to the city. So put a small portion out and then help the restaurant with certain grant for their working capital, which goes towards paying the salary of people who are here in the city, goes for paying rent for the people who lives in the city, goes towards paying, things to actually embellish the city. So that is where I think the biggest help would be appreciated by small businesses like mine.
Okay. A little more on this. I've spoken to many other operators, and I'm curious because I'm speaking to operators all over the country. The new tariffs, has it had much of an impact on your business as far as your procurement, as far as your labor, as far as your profit margins, given the current environment?
Absolutely. A tariff is a antiquated idea, has never worked. And this tariff, especially we use a lot of ingredients and everything else from India, and it has gone up close to 62% because 42% direct, and then you have transportation of labor and this and that and everything else. But I can't change the menu price overnight, go up and down and sideways all the time. So then it cuts into all your, profit margins. Profit margins are already very thin. So, you are working for nothing, basically. So it has affected in deep ways, many, many deep ways. A very simple example of how it has affected, like we have a line of spices called New World Spices, where I went back into the history of India. They got favorite dish of 3 kings and 3 queens, representing 6 different regions. And from their favorite dish, created the spice blends. The whole production is on hold. I'm not selling any spices because I can't increase my prices like, 80% to make a little bit of profit on top of that. So I'd rather not do anything. So I get calls all the time. Hey, I went to your website, but can't. Like, okay, you just have to hold on. When thing changes, we're going to do it. Right now, we have put everything on pause. But this is a great example of that, how it is affecting.
That's a very good example, and it's really unfortunate. You're not the only one that's feeling the pressure. A lot of other people are also feeling the pressure within the country, and they've had to cut back programs just like your own. They've had to cut back programs with procurement, with the quality of stuff they're using, with their labor. So they're really feeling it. And in your case, I guess you've cut back on your spice blend. I am, on a side note, very curious about the 3 kings and the 3 queens, but I think I'll take that offline with you at some point.
Yeah. One of
But
the
it's got
like one of the spice blend is called Calcutta lemon mustard curry. And it's from inspiration I got from Maharani of Kuch Bihar, who originally is from Bengal. And in 1887, she made sure girls could also go to school. Before that, only boys could go to school. And her favorite dish was lemon mustard fish curry. So that inspired me to create the Calcutta lemon mustard blend. So like,
beautiful stuff.
there's a lot of stories.
That's a really nice story. That's a really nice story. So you've had to cut back, and I know technology is not something, as you said, it's your F friend. I want to talk a little bit about tools, though. You know, Technology has its vices, but you said there can be a balance. Does it help you in any kind of way in your business?
Technology is a must in the business. It's like this. I mean, COVID has changed everything too. So everything is changed. So we have to kind of like go with the flow, embrace technology, but see how you can customize it for yourself and make sure it doesn't become like a disruptor of many other amazing quality which kind of enhances life. Sometimes it takes away from and it also gives back to. So we have to have a balance of everything.
So given that you have said that and you're very clear in your mind of where how it should enhance and not take away. And obviously it's not within your food production and within the ambiance and the guest love and the service that you're giving. But on the back end, when it comes to your books or it comes to your scheduling or hiring, if you could automate one painful task tomorrow, if you had a magic wand, which one would it be?
Oh, admin work. I hate paperwork. That's definitely not mine. Something I enjoy. Yeah, that will help me. That's good. And that's the area where I have already gotten help from different technology to streamline it, make it easier.
Could you give me an example of what you're using and what kind of help?
It's like AI assistants, like all bookkeeping. We still have an accountant who goes through everything just to make sure everything has been done. Some of the things like ordering and things like that, sometimes I can use it, sometimes I can't, because small restaurants don't go on like large scale of doing things. It changes all the time. We can take a little help, but then we have to keep the eye on what are the different changes we need. Sometimes system is not in tune with all the different changes in small restaurants. In big restaurants, yeah, you can do automate things and do things in a way. Small restaurants, we change very quickly and adapt very, masterfully and create amazing texture and taste and other things out of it, because every disaster has a seed of opportunity. So, we just change, but that you can adapt to a system which is geared towards doing very, very systematic things, always the same or similar.
And you hit the nail on the head, for other operators who will hear this is, you're using the AI tools in the back end and they should be vetted by your accountant and everyone else. But there's only so many things it doesn't come in the creation. It doesn't come in the art. It actually is counterproductive in that region. So you really hit the nail on the head.
The other day, I was at the Starbucks. They said, we are closed. We can't serve you anything because the POS system went down. But of course, the POS system went down for something in the same area. My POS system was also down, but I took out the old KOTs and everything else and did my stuff. I didn't close. I took the credit card, wrote their credit card number and everything, and then ran it when it came online. So, if you are dependent on a system and this and that, that's what happens. That's why Starbucks closed, because it's like a part of a very big operation and they couldn't make those little changes.
Because they can't pivot because they don't know the other ways. You said the old KOT. I remember that well.
Yeah.
I remember that well. A little about your philosophy and the incredible wisdom that you have. You said something beautiful. You do have incredible wisdom. I wish this podcast was longer, because I would have just heard all your stories. But you said we must learn to love the first person we meet, because that's the last one we'll say goodbye to. And it's just really stuck with me and resonated with me. How has that shaped you?
Yeah, you have to really enjoy and really learn to love yourself, because that's the first person you meet. and the last person you're going to say goodbye to. The second thing is you come to this world with empty hands. You're going to leave this world with empty hands. The only thing you can take with you are the experience and the intentions which you have for yourself and others. So this way you can enjoy it. You don't need anything else if you really love yourself. As soon as you love yourself, you can love others way better. So you could be really self-sufficient, really completely self-sufficient. If you can figure out how to make a little bit of money, you know how to cook, and then you love yourself and you don't need anybody else. Then you have a whole community and enrich yourself because you are at peace,
And there's not a price you can put on that peace. There's no price you can put on that peace. What part of your philosophy do you hope becomes your legacy?
I think, for me, it is just enriching the community and the next generation. And it is like being a guide, just sharing, because it's just no point if you have learned stuff, you have experienced stuff, and you don't share it. In old times, there are amazing, amazing chefs who were not educated, but they were amazing artists. And they were afraid if they taught everybody their secret, they will not be recognized anymore. They won't be important anymore. That's the worst thing they have done, because they will only teach their very, very indentured labor or who is a son, not even a daughter, and many, many amazing recipes has been lost because of that. I'm the opposite. I want to teach everybody everything I know so that it can have its own life forever.
So it can live on.
Yeah.
And you're right, many chefs don't like to share, and it gets lost with them, and that's the tragedy. That's a tragedy because you don't want it to live on, and you want the next generation and the generation, as you said. How many generations have you fed with their children and their grandchildren?
Yeah.
Definitely want it to live on. Do you have any advice for young chefs or young hospitality people?
Well, just do your best. It's just enjoy life and do your best. You can't do better than best. Then you should be okay with that.
Yeah.
And enjoy the next day.
That's good advice. Well, this has been a lovely conversation.
Thank
I
you.
want to really thank you. You've built more than a restaurant. You've built a living landmark. And I can't wait to come to San Francisco and come and eat there.
Absolutely.
But you're gonna have to sit with me and chat with me,
Yes, absolutely.
just so everybody knows where you can find New Delhi Restaurant. It's in San Francisco. And if you're ever in San Francisco, please go visit. It's really more than dinner. It's an incredible story and a legacy. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
This
Bye.
is the
Okay.
this is the ops table. Until next time, thank you so much for being here, Chef.
Welcome. Bye.
Bye.